Hi everybody, Susan here. So, I am here looking at the Bible. And today we are going to talk about names. What are the significance of the names you call your children? Do they have power over your children? What is it about names? So I decided to look it up in the Bible. What does the Bible say about names? Do you realize that every time God had something to do with somebody, they always told the parents what to call that person? There was something about names. And if we look at the patriarch, our fathers, they did not just wake up in the morning and decide, oh, you're named this. They named their children sometimes according to circumstance, sometimes according to what they saw that they will become. And that was it. So here in Luke chapter 1, starting from verse 26, is talking about the story of the angel appearing to Mary. I'm going to pick out verse 30. And he said, okay, let me start from 29. But when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and considered what manner of greeting this was. Then the angel said to her, do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And behold, you will conceive in your womb and bring forth a son, and you shall call his name Jesus. He will be great, and he will be called the Son of the Most High, the Son of the Highest, and the Son of the Highest, and the Lord God will give him the throne of his father David. Let's stop there. You will call his name Jesus. What does Jesus mean? Names, I believe, always have a prophetic meaning over the lives of your children. And because of that, when my kids, even before my children were conceived, I had names planned out for them. I knew that my firstborn was going to be called Shangwe Gabriel Arereng. I knew it. The second one was going to be called Shama Ashanut Gideon Ashanut. The third one was going to be called Shalom Eminent Gracious. How did I know that? Because I am a firm believer that names have power over your children. Every time you're calling your children by the name you've chosen for them, you're calling out that which you have purposed in their lives. I believe so. I believe so because, it is proven so. Every time you're calling a child hope, that child grows up with a lot of hope. You're calling a child grace, you'll find that that child is actually so gracious. You're calling the child love. The other time I was in church and this girl is called Happy. You should see her. She's so happy. I know a humble who is very humble. I know a blessing who is actually a blessing to many. So my children's names were chosen specifically. I had to look out the meaning for it. I had to know what I'm calling forth. I'm going to talk about my children. Like usual, I use a lot of the examples of my children. So Shangwe is a joy to so many people. By the way, his name means, it's a Swahili word for rejoice, rejoicing, that kind. So he's the kind of person who brings joy to many. And Arere means the blessing. He is a blessing to many. I can tell you that. His fellow students, he's the one who looks out for others, who will think about others so much. He will defend the ones who look weak. That is Shango for you. And of course, Gabriel, I got it from the angel who brings good news. He's the kind of person who will always bring good news. Wherever he is, he will bring good news to his people. Now that was me. I knew that this man I'm bearing forth, first of all, Shango, to me those names can be unisex. So I knew that my firstborn is going to be called that, regardless whether it's a she or a he. And God blessed me with a he, and that is what I named him. And that is what he is to others, to the nations, to peers, to the staff, wherever he's working. He's just a blessing. Then I got my second born, I had decided is going to be Shama, Gideon, Ashanut. Why? Shama means the Lord is present. I believe that wherever he goes, he will bring the presence of God, and God is with him everywhere. God will be with him everywhere. And that fact, the element of having the presence of God with him, and that is who Shama is. Actually, he's a pastor of many. Even when he was so young, he had always been the pastoral heart, the one who wants to take care of people, the one you can just tell that God is in this place. That's Shama for you. Ashanut means gracious. Ashanut means the gracious one, and that is by all means his love. Let me tell you, in the school I'm in, every person, be it a parent, be it a student, be it the staff, the teachers will tell you Shama is exceptional. And that is who he is. He grew up, he has grown up like that because I keep calling out that in him. Every time I'm calling him Ashanut, I'm saying gracious, gracious. Every time I'm calling out Shama, I'm saying the Lord's presence. Every time I'm calling out to the greatness in him. And then my third born, Shalom, which means peace. Eminat means loved in his mother tongue or father tongue. And then grace is self-explanatory. Now I can tell you, as even here thinking, have I ever seen Shalom lose it, like really get angry and throw tantrums? I don't remember. Okay, in the field when he's playing football and they've won him. He hates losing, so he will cry. Actually, he will cry. But he's so gracious. He is so loving because it's called love. I mean, you're calling him. Every time you're calling him Eminat, you're calling him the loved one, the loved one. And guess what? Everywhere I go, he's my handbag in most cases. He just knows he's loved. So I'll give you a scenario when they were young with his twin sister Shekinah. When they were young, Shalom would see, maybe I'm carrying him on my lap. He's been taking some new, or we call it new, but he's been breastfeeding. And then the sister crawls and comes. Guess what? Shalom will just leave the breast, move off my lap so that this one can come and sit on my lap. So he knew he's loved. He never doubted it. He has never doubted being loved. He's such a confident child who knows he's loved. So confident in that. So confident in that. He's not insecure at all. Because I've kept, every time I'm calling him Eminat, loved. And then I'm speaking peace over him. He never, you know that baby who doesn't cry anyhow. Okay, all my children are, okay, not the firstborn and then Shalom. Shama was exceptional. Shama needed to be known that he's around. So he would start screaming slowly. If you don't appear in his presence in the next scream, just know the loud one is coming until you appear. So he needed your presence around. Until the presence, God's presence, I wonder. Anyway, but Shalom was the kind of child who rarely cried. Rarely does he complain. He's so positive. He's so optimistic. He's the kind who will tell me, Mommy, but you have to believe when my faith is low, he'll lift me up. He's the type who will tell people like it's just a matter of fact. That confidence comes from the fact that I keep calling him loved. I keep calling him loved. I keep calling him Shalom, peace. Like, stay calm. You are peace. Around him, he always has the aura of peace around him. The aura of peace. And then grace. There's also gracious also. My goodness, rich names only. Imagine you're called peace, peaceful one, loved one, and then gracious one. Wow. What a rich name collection. Friends, please don't name your children just after some relative. Just think about it. If you're raising up a steward, if you are being a steward and raising up a child of God, what would God call that child? What would God call that child? Can you think about it for a minute? Or the person you're naming your child after, what were they bringing forth? Let me tell you, in most cases, if a child is named after a certain grandparent, you will actually eventually see, oh, this person is this. I remember before I got married, when I was younger, we used to have a neighbor. The neighbors, they had one of their sons was called Isaac. My goodness, this boy was a handful. Then I met another Isaac, same character, very a handful. Then I met another one, similar character, until I said, this is a serious thing. What was an Isaac? Who is this? Like Isaac, what does it have to do with the name that every Isaac I have met, they have similar character? Is it a coincidence? Could it be something behind the name that brings forth the character? You know, that is when I realized actually names carry a lot on the life of a child. Every time you're speaking it, you're being prophetic into the child's life. You're speaking the name, you're being prophetic onto the child's life. You're speaking the name, you're being prophetic. Most likely there will be the characters of the people you formed them to be, because you're just calling the spirit of the other one into the child, and the child becomes the replica of what you're calling them to be. This is an experience thing. Why did God tell Mary, call him Jesus? Why did God tell Zachariah, Elizabeth's son, call him who? John. Why did God always have specific names for specific people he called? Jesus would have been anyhow. Emmanuel, unto us a child is God. Is who? What is his name? What will his name? What is the prophetic word over that child, or over that person to be? It's not just to wake up in the morning and decide that my name is this or my child's name is this, without so much of the meaning of the name. So friends, think about it. Think about it, because we have to be prophetic as parents. Prophetic, speak out, call out the greatness out of our children. Call it out, call them out. The more you speak into the life of your children. Me, I've never worried. I will not even worry about trouble years of teenage. I don't even expect them. Why? Because my children will be taught of the Lord. But I've kept calling out greatness in their names. I keep speaking it out. How will they trouble me in their teenage? That is not my worry, because it will not happen. Mine, I know, is that my children are taught of the Lord, and great is their peace. I know my Shango has to be a blessing. My Shama has to be that pastoral person with the presence of God everywhere he goes, the element of God in a place wherever he is. My Shalom has to remain that peace giver, that loved one, that one who is so secure in himself. And then my baby Shekinah, my baby girl Shekinah, she's the kind who carries God's glory. Shekinah means the Lord's glory. My goodness, that girl leads us in worship in church. She is just 14, 15 now, but she carries God's glory with her. She leads us so well. Shekinah, God's glory, and then gift. She's a gift to us. So she knows it, she's a gift. Now, with that prophetically calling my kids those names, what do you think? As a mother, I have a lot of peace because I've kept calling it out. Every time I'm calling Shekinah, I'll say, God's glory, come here. God's glory come here. Every time I'm calling Shama, I'm declaring the presence of God. Every time I'm calling Shalom, I'm declaring peace. I like using Eminat a lot. I'm declaring that you are loved. Every time I'm calling Shangwe, I'm declaring rejoicing in the Lord. Areren, a blessing to many. You know? So friends, think about it. You don't have to, some people have problem with English names, then call them into that meaning in your own language. Eminat is Ateso for loved. Areren is Ateso for blessing. Ashanut is Ateso for gracious. Akawa is Lugisu for a gift. Actually, her full name is Wele Akaba, which means God gives the perfect gift, yeah? The perfect gift comes from the Lord. So, that is what I'm talking about. What are you calling your children? The names have meaning. So friends, think about it. Pray about it. Especially young ladies, you're just entering this marriage thing. Sit down with your spouse. Start selecting the names prayerfully. God will give you the perfect name for the children you are raising for Him. Otherwise, God bless you. See you next time. I remain yours, Pastor Susan. Blessings.